Well, thank you for the question. I love the media. Let's get that clear. I wasn't overly upset with them, but I was confused. You know, media's job is to help us promote. They did a fantastic job, and they sold a show out. But once the show sells out, their job is no longer to promote the show. It's to educate fans. And when I'm reading reports and all it says is UFC on Fox, and the reality is we had 2 shows tonight, and they're not mentioning Fuel TV, it's aggravating to me. And the second part of your question, when they only mention 8 o'clock and they don't take the time to mention that it's Eastern, and then they put an article online that can be viewed around the world, a guy in Pittsburgh sees it, a guy in Seattle sees it, a guy in Cleveland sees it, he's going to assume it's 8 p.m. his time, which is a reasonable assumption. So take the time to mention the 2 channels, the 2 shows, and the time. But I'm not upset. I was surprised about everything. Michael Bisping hit me so hard in the first round, I didn't even know what day it was. I remember when I came to looking at him and thinking, oh my God, you have no idea how bad you hurt me, or you'd step in and do something about it. And I mean, the whole fight, you know, we got to be. I was never in a position tonight where I was comfortable, not one. It was 15 awkward minutes. I got him down on the ground, he'd throw a hook in, blocking me. I could tell, well, he wants me to create space. As soon as I do, he's going to get up. Sure enough, as soon as I created space, he pushed away, he popped up. I don't have a bad thing in the world to say about the guy. Well, I felt relief when I heard third. I knew the only round I knew I had was the third. I thought I might have had one of the first 2, but I didn't know I had it. I knew I had the third. I heard 30-27. I thought that went for me, but I didn't hear unanimous decision. If I heard it was unanimous, I would have breathed deep right then. You know, I thought it was a split decision, and that was my goal, to win a controversial split decision. So I was a little disappointed that it was unanimous, and that's it. Yeah, I can verify that. You know. Yeah, I did say that to him. I said, hey, what do you think? And he said, I don't know. He said, I think I might have got the first 2. And I said, yeah, I think you might be right. That doesn't mean I disagree with the judges. You know, they were close rounds. You know, even a 30-27 round, you know, I would agree that he should have got a round in there somewhere. But they could have been razor thin. But if a judge thinks you win, it leaves, you know, you can have a 30-27 round fight that's still a very close 30-27. So I don't know that judge was out of his mind, but yeah, if it would have gone the other way, I don't know that I would be complaining. Well, I know that I'll do my part in that. Do I think that he'll sign to fight? No, I don't. I don't. But we'll see. I mean, I've been wrong before. They've tried to get him to fight 4 times. That's the one thing they don't tell you, and I'm not trying to go against the brass here, but the one thing that they haven't revealed is they've offered him the fight 4 times, and he said no 4 times. Mysteriously, he's supposed to accept on the 5th. You know, the saying is 3rd time's a charm. I've never heard of 5th time's the charm. I can tell you this, I have never backed down, and I never will. If he wants to fight or is willing to, I will do my part, but this isn't my goal to help lure him out. I talk like this so I can get off the topic of Anderson. I'd rather talk about real men like Mr. Bisping, who steps in on 10 days' notice and fights me. You know, those are the kind of guys that I'd rather give media attention to. Not some bum hiding in Brazil.
Chael, going in.
Yeah, I knew we were in the middle of a close fight. I knew I needed to win the 3rd round.
In the fighting fashion, though. You had a sense of urgency in that.
I had a sense of urgency for sure. I mean, I think we both did. You know, I think we're both. You know, we were in the middle of a hard fight, but you know, you got to understand, he hit me so hard in the 1st round. I wasn't positive when we were in the 3rd. I was just glad when it was over.
Michael, you and I talked.
Well, you know, yeah, I can't do anything about the fact that I got the resentment or the memory of the Munoz match, but no, as far as coasting goes, no. I mean, I have specific workouts that I have to do. I have a certain amount of miles to run, a certain amount of rounds I got to go, a certain amount of days I have to work out, a certain way to lose weight and do the whole bit. And I did the full routine, and you know, I have no excuse for tonight. I fought as hard as I could fight. I fought a really good fighter that we didn't know was a really good fighter. Good for him. Well, I want to just say it. He was actually elected, nominated Man of the Year and put on the cover of the magazine. So yeah, they love him over there. And somebody asked earlier, will he ever fight for the title? Excuse me, and I can assure you, having fought him and the alleged champion, he could win the title today if they gave him his opportunity. Well, first off, I appreciate the premise of your question. It sounds like you're concerned for my safety. But in fairness, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to pick up your local newspaper. Chicago isn't exactly a haven for civility at all times. I don't know that I'm completely safe on the streets around here, but I showed up anyway. And secondly, if those blowhards with their blow darts want to come at me, they can send anybody they want, but don't send anybody you want back. Well, ideally right now, and I don't say that to be funny, I mean, I hate the way the architecture of this sport is set up. To fight 3 times a year is such a waste of the other 49 weekends of the year. I mean, where I come from, it's not Saturday night if you're not fighting with somebody. So, I don't really understand it. Secondly, I'm a wrestler. You know, we put 60, 65 matches together a year since I was 9 years old. It drives me bonkers to only compete 3 times. So, I mean, you know, the old expression where the guy tries to sound tough, I'll fight anybody anytime. I will fight anybody at any time, and Joe Silva and Dana White will confirm that. I'd really like to know. It sounds like somebody stole it back from me. All that was left on the counter where I left it was the felt case that I travel around with it in, and it's gone. And either one of my own decided I looked like a fool carrying it around and hid it, or somebody else ganked it from me, which was a pretty slick move, because I sleep with one eye open. Well, first off, I hope not, and secondly, yeah, he probably should. But you know, as far as Anderson goes, you know, good for him. He doesn't want to fight anymore. So what? You know, I'd like to get to his spot someday. You know, I don't want to disparage what he's done. Good for him. Either way, he's at a point where he doesn't want to do this. He's faking injuries. He's making things up. He's telling the boss no. Good for him. I'd really like to be there myself. We're going to have to do something like that. They're going to have to put 2 new guys in, retire him, strip him, and let the new crew go fight for the belt. And yeah, I got nothing against Bisping being given his due.